Hello and welcome to another edition of GeoPods, a podcast to fill all of your geographical needs. This week we're going to be doing a special GeoPod that I would like to refer to as Spotlight Geography. Spotlight Geography episodes will focus on specific towns, states, countries, or regions, and this week's spotlight is on a little place that's very near and dear to my heart, Allakaket, Alaska. I mentioned Allakaket in episode 1 of GeoPods, but for those of you who are new listeners, I'll quickly catch you up to speed. Allakaket is where I was lucky enough to cut my educational teeth during my first 2 years as a teacher. It's a tiny village located on the Arctic Circle with a population of around 75. While I was there, I mainly taught all of the subjects to all 14 of the 8th through 12th grade students. Now, before I go into too much detail and spoil our geography spotlight for the day, let's take a look at Allakaket through Google Earth. Now, I'm simply recording my screen today with a web-based or downloadable program called Screencast-O-Matic. It's a real easy and effective way to record screencasts and utilize them in any way you want after you're done with them. I recommend trying it out sometime. It's just www.screencastomatic.com with a hyphen in between screencast and O and another hyphen between O and Matic. So let's go ahead and type Allakaket into the search bar of Google Earth here. We can see it comes up, Allakaket, Alaska. We can click search, and it zooms us down in. As you see, we're going deep into the interior of Alaska. Now, as it takes us in and clears up the view, I want to point out some of the physical geographic features here around Allakaket. First one is this river right here. This is the Alatna River. This river comes from the Brooks Range up north above here. Very cold river. Lots of fish, very nice. Gets real shallow when you get up toward the top of it, and it's also just not real wide. Now the bigger river that's right here, this is the Kayukuk River. This river travels all the way down and ends up meeting up with the Yukon. It's a very good river. It's also pretty shallow once it gets far north like this, but depending on the year, it can also be pretty deep. Now as we're looking at Allakaket from an aerial view, let's just point out some features. Here you have the airport. Right along here. It's a pretty nice airstrip. As you can see, there's a little village right over here across the river. This is called Alatna. That's a population of about 40 people, and the students from there come over to go to school at Allakaket, unless it's the time in which the river's freezing up and you can't really travel on it. It's unsafe. Let's take a look in, zoom just a little bit. Here's the top of the hill. There was actually a large flood in 1993 that wiped out a lot of this lower village down here. A lot of houses moved up to the top of the hill over here. Now, as we scroll in a little closer, I would like to point out one really cool thing about Google Earth. Now, I said I was here for 2 years, and I took a lot of pictures when I was there. There's this really cool website called Panoramio, where you can actually upload your pictures and then place them on the Google Earth map, and then you can submit them to have people, so everyone can view them as when they zoom into these places. These are actual ones of mine that I got approved to be on the website for Allakaket. Here's the school complex from my front door. And actually, Google Earth's images aren't up to date enough. This is where my house was, but it's just not on this picture yet. Here's another spot. This is one of my favorite pictures. This is during breakup, right after the river broke up. Used to sit in that chair a lot when I was there. One more picture that I know is on here of mine. It's over here by the airstrip. Now this is on December 21st, the shortest day of the year. This picture was taken at noon on December 21st. Now just pointing out a little bit more about Allakaket. Let's check out the school complex where I spent most of my time. As you can see, school is the biggest building around. There it is. It's got a pretty decent sized gymnasium. This is the high school building that I taught in. I had 14 students in there. Like I said previously, 8th through 12th grade, taught all the subjects to them. Now the school is kind of the center for the town. It's where all the events happen. Now let's check out, as you can see, I talked about that flood in 93. Here's the old airstrip right here. It was down by the river. That got wiped out. Not a good idea to have it down there, so they moved it over here and made it much bigger. And those are really the key points I want to tell you about Allakaket today. I'd like to thank you for tuning in with GeoPods again this week, and Make sure and come back next week to see what we have in store with you. Yeah, everyone have a great week and peace and love.